Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, and air restoration, flood and remodeling services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
The biggest holiday celebration in San Diego County is getting underway. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. More than 300,000 people are expected at December nights in Balboa Park. KPBS reporter Alexander Wynn shows us some of the surprises at this year's event.
The holiday spirit is on display at Balboa Park for December nights this evening. Santa and his reindeer are primed for takeoff, the Christmas tree trimmed, even the candy canes are ready.
So many fun things are happening for the family this year.
Sarah Twombly is the host at the House of Norway. She says new this year is the San Diego-style skating rink. The ice is plastic, but the fun is real. There's also a silent disco and an expanded family zone. But the crowd favorites are the cultural treats from the international cottages.
Delicious, authentic flavors from over 31 different cultures, as well as an international spirit garden.
And plenty of sweet treats like baklava and the famous Death by Chocolate.
We can't keep it in.
Don't forget about the performances. More than 1,600 performers in 70 groups will entertain guests on 5 stages, including the Sparkles Pavilion.
I dare you to move. I dare you to move.
And there are special guests performing on Saturday.
There'll be 2 performances from Switchfoot.
Garrett Michaels is the program director for 91X. The station was the first to play Switchfoot's music 20 years ago and was instrumental in getting the band to perform at December nights. It's the first time the event will have a major musical act.
The Switchfoot guys, this is their hometown. They've been here forever. They have families, they have their parents here, and I think the opportunity for them to be able to perform at December nights at Balboa Park really kind of hits them at their heart.
We caught up with the band at their rehearsal space in Carlsbad.
91X called, and whenever they call, we answer the phone.
Drummer Chad Butler says it's an honor to play for the hometown crowd.
To be able to be a part of this celebration for the holidays, it's going to be great.
The band released its first Christmas album last year. Guitarist Tim Foreman says fans can expect those songs to be on the set list.
We rarely follow the set list. You know, someone will shout out a song from the back row and we'll take it in a whole different direction. And that's what we love about live music, that anything's possible.
Besides performing here on Sparkles Pavilions, Switchfoot is going to be performing a stripped-down concert by the Nat.
On the AARP stage in the Holiday Cheer Garden right around 8:45. So get there a little bit early, get a cup of holiday cheer, and enjoy a second set from Switchfoot for free.
To find the stage, visit December Night's website, decembernights.org. That's new too. There, you can plan your attack for the 2-day event. Alexander Wynn, KPBS News.
Well, tonight will be a little quieter than last night when we were talking about some scattered showers and sprinkles in some areas. We will be dry tonight. We'll get down to around 38 in Ramona, El Cajon 43, 47 into San Diego. Our forecast begins still relatively cool, but there will be a warming trend that takes over. We'll be talking about how warm we'll get into next week in our full forecast in just a little bit. But tonight down to 33 at Mount Laguna and Borrego Springs about 40 degrees. Overall, Saturday's forecast looks pretty pleasant, still a little chilly to the east.
Money for San Diego County's Migrant Welcome Center is running out. Next Tuesday, the Board of Supervisors will consider reallocating another $3 million in American Rescue Plan funding. Chairwoman Nora Vargas and Supervisor Joel Anderson are asking the board to fund additional services as they continue to advocate at the state and federal levels for more long-term solutions. Supervisor Jim Desmond, who opposed the first round of funding, says this is a federal government issue that the county is paying for.
I think the more we do this, the more, it's just going to snowball on us. And the people do need help getting to where they're going. The federal government should take care of that.
Groups helping asylum seekers welcome more funding but want it allocated differently this time around. Pedro Rios, the director of American Friends Service Committee, says he would like to see more money going toward groups helping migrants in between border walls or out of Jacumba. More people are falling into homelessness than exiting into housing in San Diego County. That is according to a new report from the Regional Task Force on Homelessness. Between September of 2022 and October of 2023, an average of 10 people found housing for every 16 people who became unhoused for the first time. That is up from the previous report. The task force's director says most people exited homelessness by renting, either with or without a subsidy, rather than through permanent supportive housing. San Diego County leaders could delay implementation of a new law that expands who can be involuntarily held. KPBS health reporter Matt Hoffman says supervisors are voting on it next week.
The new law means more people can be involuntarily treated or put into a conservatorship. Senate Bill 43 expands the definition of gravely disabled to include those with a severe substance abuse disorder who cannot provide for their own safety or medical care. That expansion is set to take effect in January, but counties can opt to delay implementation, something County Board Chair Nora Vargas is proposing with support from local hospitals.
Reason is pretty simple. We do not have the facilities.
Vargas says the county is committed to implementing the involuntary treatment expansion, but wants to wait until 2025 to do so, pointing to the rollout of Care Court and the process of involving stakeholders for a successful implementation.
The year really gives this county time to plan and prepare and coordinate so that we all know what we're going to be doing and how we're going to manage this. Remember, this law is supposed to go into effect in less than a month now, and nobody's had any discussion on coordination and how we're going to do that.
The Hospital Association of San Diego and Imperial County says if SB 43 goes into effect on January 1st, there will be insufficient services in place for people who are deemed to meet new requirements of gravely disabled. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria says there's too much at stake to delay implementation for another year. He argues lives could be lost.
And I believe that this is one of the key ways that we can get some of the most difficult cases. I'm not talking about folks who lost a job or who are just struggling to make the rent. I'm talking about people who have severe mental illness, bipolar, schizophrenia, and often co-occurring situations of extreme substance use disorder around methamphetamine and fentanyl. That's why I say this could result in more people dying.
Well, I'm concerned that it might cost people's lives because we don't have emergency rooms, that they'll be full of patients. We're supportive of what the mayor would like to accomplish, but we're also worried about, our capability and capacity to be able to do this safely for them and for other patients.
Van Gorder says hospital emergency rooms are already extremely busy, but Gloria says any change at this point is better than the status quo.
If we leave things the way that they are, the people who will be left to serve this vulnerable population is law enforcement, is our shelter providers, and probably most tragically, the elderly aged parents of adult-aged individuals who have severe mental illness.
San Diego County Sheriff Kelly Martinez supports delayed implementation because she says the proper training and infrastructure needs to be in place. Martinez says the law requires a diagnosis of severe substance use disorder, and there's no system for law enforcement to currently verify that diagnosis. Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.
Anytime it rains in our county, it's almost guaranteed sewer contamination from the border will flow to our South Bay beaches. Senator Steve Padilla invited local, state, and federal representatives to Chula Vista to discuss the issue. Padilla also serves as chair of the State Senate Select Committee on California-Mexico Cooperation and Dialogue. During a tour of the South Bay International Wastewater Treatment Plant in June, he said he was working to get funding to help with the infrastructure.
There has been vastly insufficient operations and maintenance funding leads to conditions like this, which are unacceptable.
Improvements to the water plant are underway and should be completed sometime this month. California's solar industry is facing tough times after state utility regulators changed the rules for rooftop solar last spring. KPBS environment reporter Eric Anderson says sales are down and layoffs are up.
And then actually install it and collect the revenue.
Ross Williams has worked in San Diego's residential solar industry since 2010. He's never seen anything this dark for an industry that enjoyed double-digit growth over the last decade.
Sales have been 20 to 30% year over year. And that's brutal. I mean, no company can survive where your sales are 30% of what they were last year, right? It's just a recipe for disaster.
HES Solar had fewer than 10 employees when Williams joined the firm more than a decade ago. He bought the company in 2015 in part because the future was bright. The workforce swelled to 75 by the beginning of the year, but under new solar rules that took effect in April, Williams was forced to cut jobs in July and again in August. The San Diego company is down to 35 workers.
It's the absolute worst, absolute worst. So our culture is family first, and it's very difficult to tell people that I've personally hired, with that promise, like, hey, we're going to be a spot for you. You work well for us. We're going to be there for you. To say, hey, sorry, can't employ you anymore. It's extremely difficult.
California's solar industry employed more than 78,000 people in 2023, 67,000 in the residential rooftop solar sector. Industry officials project 17,000 of those residential jobs will be snuffed out by the first quarter of next year, and prospects for the rest of the year remain dark.
The market in real time under the new net metering is 80% below where it was last summer.
Bernadette Del Chiaro is the executive director of the California Solar and Storage Association. She says the layoffs are exactly what the industry was warning about when regulators were revising the state's net energy metering rules. The NEM 3 rule changes slashed the value of electricity produced by rooftop solar, and that has crushed demand.
What the 80% is sales, and it's measured both by sales data collected in the aggregate across the industry as well as interconnection application. So that's the first step of the interconnection process.
The economic impacts are only part of the story. The decline will also hurt California's efforts to reach carbon neutrality by 2045. That requires slashing greenhouse gas emissions, cutting air pollution, and dramatically reducing fossil fuel consumption. Stanford University's Mark Jacobson says rooftop solar was expected to account for about a quarter of that energy production, but this year's rule changes may put that target out of reach as solar adoption stalls.
Slowing that down with hostile regulations to make it more expensive for people to put up rooftop solar is just going to slow down a transition, cause more air pollution deaths and morbidities in California, and raise prices as well.
Jacobson has studied pathways for California to electrify the state's economy. He says it will require greatly expanding wind energy, utility-scale solar, geothermal energy, battery storage, and solar from rooftops. He says regulators should be facilitators.
Every opportunity we have, regulators need to make it easy to put solar on, not more difficult, and not listen to these naysayers who are trying to make money by outlawing the inexpensive use of solar on people's homes.
The rule changes implemented this year are being challenged in court. The San Diego-based Protect Our Communities Foundation, the Center for Biological Diversity, and the Environmental Working Group asked the First District Court of Appeal in San Francisco to force regulators to reconsider the changes. The challenge argues the California Public Utilities Commission failed to support solar in disadvantaged communities and didn't account for all the benefits of rooftop solar. Regulators are also required to make sure the solar industry grows sustainably.
All three of those things are statutory requirements in the Public Utilities Code, and the Commission's decision doesn't meet those requirements.
The CPUC asked the court to reject the challenge in a legal filing. The court decided to hear the case. Oral arguments are scheduled for December 13th. It's unclear when a decision might be rendered. Eric Anderson, KPBS News.
It's the most severe form of punishment the House of Representatives can hand down to a member: expulsion. And today, lawmakers voted to remove one of their own from their ranks. New York's George Santos is the 6th member in history to be stripped of his congressional title. Laura Aguirre has more.
And with that, George Santos's term as a Republican representing New York's 3rd District is over. Expelled from the House Friday by more than 2/3 majority of his fellow members, becoming only the 6th member in American history to lose a seat this way. After his expulsion, Santos told CNN that the House vote sets a dangerous precedent, adding, "Why would I want to stay here? To hell with this place." Minutes later, he left Capitol Hill in a waiting Jaguar.
It's a sad day to remove members because basically he defrauded the voters of his district. His life was made up. It was a lie.
Representative David Joyce of Ohio chaired the investigative subcommittee that put together the comprehensive and scathing ethics probe against Santos, accusing him of breaking several federal laws and using lies to win his House seat, along with financial misdeeds, like spending his campaign funds on personal items, like spa visits, Botox injections, and an OnlyFans account.
It's wrong what he was accused of doing, but he was accused. He hasn't even had his day in court.
More than 2/3 of the members of Congress and a substantial number of Republicans saw fit to vote in favor of expulsion despite recommendations to the contrary from their leadership. That, to me, is a sign of integrity returning to the United States Congress.
So what does this expulsion? No word from House Speaker Mike Johnson after the vote, but New York's governor already posting on X, formerly Twitter, that she's ready to begin the process of filling Santos's empty seat. I'm Laura Aguirre for KPBS News.
San Diego County Congressman Darrell Issa was among the 112 Republicans who voted against expelling Santos. The other representatives from our county, all Democrats, voted in favor of expulsion, as did the rest of the Republican representatives from Southern California. California Governor Gavin Newsom and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis faced off on Fox News. The event was billed as the Great Red versus Blue State debate. The governors battled over the economy, pandemic restrictions, and the border while trading barbs.
I support border security. I think the asylum system is broken. I believe that we need...
I understand that.
I'm the only guy here that's a border state governor. You're trolling folks and trying to find migrants to play political games to try to get some news and attention so you can out-Trump Trump. And by the way, how's that going for you, Ron? You're down 41 points in your own home state.
He's just throwing stuff out to see what sticks against the wall. This is a slick, slippery politician whose state is failing, people are leaving his state, and he's trying to run interference for his failure.
DeSantis is running for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination and is trailing former President Trump. Newsom has not said if he will run for president in 2028. A new report from the U.S. Department of Energy has outlined what a rich source of lithium Imperial Valley is. KPBS SciTech reporter Thomas Fudge got reaction from a company that's getting ready to mine it.
The report by the Lawrence Berkeley National Lab says there's an estimated 18 million metric tons of raw lithium in the brine that flows below the surface of Imperial County, enough to make 375 million electric car batteries. The report confirmed what politicians see when they call Imperial County Lithium Valley. California Assemblyman Eduardo Garcia represents the area. He says the report is good news for the valley and the nation.
To become self-sufficient and independent from foreign nations when it comes to these critical minerals being developed and deployed to achieve our goals.
San Diego-based Energy Source Minerals next year plans to build $1 billion plant to extract the lithium. CEO Eric Spomer says he thinks the Department of Energy report is accurate, but doesn't consider the challenge of extracting the lithium.
I do think there's a lot of lithium there. I think there's a lot of geothermal power potential there. I think the possibility that it's actually all recoverable is a little bit maybe aggressive.
Underground near the Salton Sea, lithium is suspended in scalding hot brine water below the surface. The Energy Source plant will funnel that water to the surface where it's pushed through a filter that catches the lithium. The water is then pumped back below to the water table. Spomer says the report describes lithium deposits so plentiful they will be hard to deplete.
We'll be depleting some, but the reservoir is so big that you won't see it in the lifetime of a single project like ours.
The energy source plant will operate for 30 years and, they estimate, extract 20,000 tons of battery-grade lithium each year. Spomer says the Inflation Reduction Act has incentivized the construction of battery plants in the U.S., so Imperial County lithium won't need to go offshore to be processed.
We got to give credit to the Inflation Reduction Act for getting that stuff onshore. I don't think it was the only incentive, but it was a big one, because that's just it's given us domestic places to sell the lithium, so we don't have to ship it to Korea or Japan or, heaven forbid, China.
Energy Source Minerals now has an agreement with Ford Motor Company to supply them with lithium. He says Ford is planning to build several plants to make lithium batteries. Thomas Fudge, KPBS News.
Today is World AIDS Day. It's a time to raise awareness and destigmatize a disease that still disproportionately affects the LGBTQ+ community and people of color. Mandy Gaither has more on the importance of testing, as well as the advancements made in prevention and in treatment.
In the U.S., approximately 1.2 million people have HIV, and about 13% of them don't know it.
They may not become aware of it until later on, at a point when the disease has progressed and they actually get sick.
Dr. Carlos Malvis-Tudo with the Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center says because of advancements in treatment, those who have HIV can expect to have about the same life expectancy as everyone else. But he says there's still work to be done.
We need to make sure that people know their own status, that testing for HIV is widely available.
The CDC recommends everyone between the ages of 13 and 64 get tested for HIV at least once as part of their routine health care. But Malvis-Tudo says the stigma around this disease may prevent people from doing that.
Even though there is more knowledge about HIV, there's still a lot of ignorance about it.
There are medications that can help prevent an infection, but Malvis-Tudo says many people aren't aware of them. There are also treatments that can help stop the spread.
Somebody who is living with HIV and is virally suppressed, so they're taking their medication, their virus is completely controlled, then they have zero risk of transmitting the virus to a sexual partner.
Malvis-Tudo says addressing disparities in testing and access to care is critical.
Because we could have a cure today, but if we can't get it to the people that need it, then it's pointless.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, about 24 hours ago, we talked about some sprinkles and showers in the forecast for last night and early this past morning, just impacting some, but certainly not all. Now we're turning into a quieter spell. That's a beautiful skyline shot there, isn't it? A warming trend will take over through the weekend into next week. We'll see a lot of sunshine over the next few days, and we're going to have to wait probably until about next weekend, about 8 to 9 days from now, about 8 days or so, until our next opportunity for showers. That appears to be the most likely scenario. Next weekend, we get into some scattered showers returning. So kind of a quieter, drier spell. Tonight, we'll get down to 47, mainly clear skies, a little cool out there into the southwest still on Saturday, with us dealing with dry weather. There's some snow into Colorado. Big-time rain and mountain snow into the northwest, but there's the fringe of the rain up near Redding and Chico, California. So for us, we're dry. We're looking good out there on Saturday. Highs will be in the mid to upper 60s near the coast, 67 into San Diego. El Cajon around 70 degrees. Up into the mountains, we're in the low 40s for highs. A little nippy there, but Borrego Springs will be around 67 degrees. And future satellite and radar showing not much to speak of. It'll be a very bright time as we move on through the day on Saturday. Just some clouds, mainly offshore. We'll see a little bit of cloud cover interspersed with some sunshine into the afternoon, but a mostly sunny day overall for us on Saturday. And you can see the temperatures trending upward. We'll gain about 5 degrees from Saturday's upper 60s to Tuesday's mid 70s. Lots of sunshine, though, each of the next 5 days. Inland areas will rise from 69 to 78. It's a 9-degree jump into Tuesday and Wednesday. Nice weather, no complaints out there. Into the mountains here, we're running a little chilly to no surprise. 43 for Saturday's high. We'll be back up around 50 beginning on Monday with a mix of sunshine and some clouds. And in the deserts here, we're rising from 67 on Saturday, certainly a cool day, to around 75, 76. Lots of sunshine out there. A good stretch to get out and about. Don't forget the sunscreen. Even in December, you can get that burn from the sun. Thanks for being with us, and I'm meteorologist Jeff Cornish for KPBS News.
I'm Amna Navaz. Tonight on the NewsHour, what's next in the war between Israel and Hamas as fighting resumes? That's coming up at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
Well, November was a great month for stocks and investments. SDSU's Miro Kopik explains the recent gains and what it means for the larger economy in the Friday Business Report.
We're heading into the holidays. It's kind of an early Christmas gift for investors. I think, we saw in the month of November the best performance we've seen in a long time on a number of indices, both the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ. In fact, the Dow and the S&P were up 9% this past month. And the S&P, actually, it's the fourth best month they've had in a decade and the second best November in 40 years. But the real major economic factors that are impacting this, investors, stock analysts, and economists are seeing that there's going to be a shift in monetary policy. I think everyone sees that the Fed, based on what they're saying, is they're seeing potentially lower volatility in the future. So they think they're not going to raise rates in December. And a lot of folks are thinking, well, the Fed may just be done raising rates, which really puts Wall Street in a much more optimistic mood.
And you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Have a great evening.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, and air restoration, flood and remodeling services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.